Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Dhṛtarāṣṭra Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Dhṛtarāṣṭra Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjan Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjan Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Shri Radhe Jaya Koranita Mayapur Sasi Jaya Koranita Jaya Mayapur Sasi Jaya Koranita Mayapur Sasi Jaya Koranita Jaya Mayapur Sasi Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadramai Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadramai Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Shri Ram Sankirtan ki Jai Samved Vrinda ki Jai Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Go Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
हरे कृष्ण। बस दो ही हैं क्या आज?
कोई नहीं आ रहे हैं सब धीरे धीरे
ठीक है।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रहे ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome you and on our ongoing discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we have been discussing Canto 10 from a long time now, and we today will start discussing from chapter 48, and we have seen how Akrūra. Last week we've seen how Akrūra went. Sorry, not Akrūra. No, Uddhava went by the instruction of Krishna to send the message of him to the gopis, Nandan Maharaj and others, and he spent many months over there, and then he came back, and very jubilantly he expressed this story of living there with all the gopis and other Nandan Maharaj and others, and he said about Krishna how they are devoted towards you, and then also he showed so many gifts what is got from them, and at the end all these narration being told to him, to Krishna, to Balram, even to others. And now, today we'll enter another episode, chapter 48. Actually, now nearly Krishna is nearly finishing his pastimes in Mathurā, and he was to go to Dvārakā. So maybe in 2 or 3 chapters we will see Krishna's planning to go away to Dvārakā from Mathurā. Because the kind of Kansa has been killed, all his relatives been relieved, and also he has an established Ugrasen as the king. So I think he has almost fulfilled all these desires of his devotees in Mathurā. So chapter 48, where Krishna pleases his devotees. So Krishna fulfilled now the desire of that's hunchback woman whom Krishna has touched by his finger, lifted by fingers, and made her a very beautiful lady. And she is Trivakrā. So Krishna went with Uddhava to Trivakra's house, and as he was, Krishna's promised her that I will come back to you and fulfill your desire. And then in the similar way, see Krishna come back there, and even after that, after fulfilling the desire of that, and Krishna and Balram and Uddhava, they went to Sri Vidura. Even remember when Vidura, so Krishna went to see Vidura, and after that Lord was welcomed with great joy by Akrūra. Sorry, Krishna went to see Akrūra, and you remember when Akrūra came here, and then Akrūra also told that Krishna, no, please come to my home. But Krishna said, okay, once I finish all of my duties, then I'll come back to your home. And now Akrūra with Uddhava and Balram, he went there to receive him. And Akrūra was, by seeing Krishna, he became very joyful, he embraced, Krishna, and also he bowed down to Krishna and Balram. And then, in the same way, Krishna also greeted them in return. And Akrūra, he bathed Krishna's lotus feet, and also he poured water on the feet of Lord Balram, and then he poured the water onto his head, like Charanamrita. So, Amrita, which comes from his Charana of lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Balram. And then Akrūra presented so many gifts, like clothes and jewelry, sandalwood paste, and others to Lord Krishna and Balram. And Akrūra said, "It is our fortune that you two lords have killed the evil Kansa and his followers, and thus delivering your dynasty from endless suffering and causing it to flourish now." So they were being suffering a lot, and Krishna has finally killed this Kansa and re-established all of his relatives well. And you both are the original supreme person, the cause of this universe and its very substance. So everything in this world is actually connected to you, and not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product of creation exists apart from you. So that's how Akrūra glorified to Lord Krishna. And he has said that, since it has never been demonstrated that you are covered by material or bodily designation, it must be concluded that you are there is neither birth in literal sense nor in duality. So he again explained that everything is related to you, and you are the supreme, and you do not take, your birth is not like us, right? And therefore you never undergo any bondage or liberation. There is no bondage or no liberation for Lord Krishna. Though you appear as a human being, but still there is no bondage, there is no birth for you. And that's how Akrūra prays to Krishna. So in this chapter, Krishna first satisfied, fulfill the desire of Trivakrā, and then in the similar way, Akrūra was also being got the mercy of Lord Krishna's Balram visiting them. And then he said very nice things. He says, "Therefore, O my Lord, my home has become most fortunate because you have entered it." So when Krishna entered his home, he being, now even his life is being satisfied, fulfilled. He said, "As the supreme truth, you embody the forefathers, ordinary creatures, human beings, the demigod, and the water that has washed your lotus feet purifies the three world. Indeed, O transcendental one, you are the spiritual master of the universe." So he is glorifying Krishna again, that by just your coming to my home, and it's already being purified, and we are so fortunate to welcome you. So in Kali Yuga, we do not, earlier they in Dvāpara they could see Krishna, and they have invited Krishna directly. And in this Kali Yuga, we invite Krishna to our home in the name of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, it is said that when Krishna left this world by doing his pastimes, then the incarnation he came is with Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam is literal incarnation of Lord Krishna. He is non-different than Krishna. So in this way, by inviting Srimad Bhagavatam in our home, we actually inviting Krishna in our home. And Akrūra here says that just by your entrance, we have become more fortunate now. And he said that your lotus feet is the one who actually all the learned people they want to approach. And then he says, "As you are very affectionate, grateful, and truthful well-wisher of your devotees." And that's why the learned people say that it's best to approach the lotus feet of Krishna, take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And then in this way, he glorified more and more to Lord Krishna. And then he says that those who worship you in sincere friendship, you reward everything they desire, even your own self, yet you never increase or diminish. So Krishna never increase or never diminish, but he also provide himself to them. Krishna says, "Aham bhakta paradhino." So he is actually being controlled by Krishna. Remember in the past times of Durvasa, it's in Durvasa Muni, So when Durvasa Muni went to Krishna, to Vishnu, he said, okay, let's save me now. Krishna says, no, I'm not independent. Though he is independent, he says, I'm Swarat, Avijnana Swarat, in first sloka of this Bhagavatam. But still, Krishna is dependent. And we discussed how Krishna is dependent. Like, a kite. From a long distance, if you see, that looks like, kite is flying by its own. There is no one controlling. But when we come closer and closer to kite, we could see that a person standing on the, on the ground, and he actually controlling the kite through the thread, isn't it? In the similar way, that thread is a devotion. That thread is chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. In that way, Krishna is being controlled. And when the thread is being cut, the kite goes away and it doesn't have control. So by chanting holy name of Lord Krishna, by taking his shelter, actually Krishna is being controlled, right? So Ambrish Maharaj, Krishna told that Ambrish Maharaj is the one actually who is controlling me in devotion. So Durvasa Muni, you have to go and beg mercy from Ambrish Maharaj. So in this way, here also Akrūra, glorified Krishna, said that you give everything to you. Just imagine that his story comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to south for touring, and he saw a Brahmana. He actually doesn't know to read properly. So he doesn't know to read properly. But however, his spiritual master has told him that you should read Bhagavad Gita every day. But he don't know how to read it. So he used to go to temple every day. Every day he used to see this Bhagavad Gita, and he used to start beeping. Every day he used to beep by seeing the Bhagavad Gita, and he sometimes hold the book in a opposite direction and start saying this and crying. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw him, he said, "Why are you crying?" Even all the learned brahmanas who were there, who could read, they used to make laugh of him, that see how he is crying. He said, "Oh, don't know how to read, but still he is crying." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, he could understand this mood of his devotee. So he asked, and then he said that my spiritual master has told me to hold this Bhagavad Gita and read, so I'm doing it, but I don't know how to read it. However, I see that how merciful Krishna is. I'm just seeing the first page of the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is becoming a chariot driver. Chariot driver is very, very kind of it's not good job kind of thing. And it's been described that in the battlefield, the one who is fighting, they used to kick the chariot driver and indicate that where to go, where not to go. So in this way, Krishna has become chariot driver just to fulfill the desire of his devotee or his friend now. So that makes me compassionate that how Krishna is merciful. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugged him and he says, "Wow, you are the one who actually understood the love of Krishna." Right. So that's how when we serve Krishna in that mode, we understand Krishna very well. Rather than just trying to understand Krishna by philosophically, it's not possible. Even we discussed earlier as well, by to understand Krishna with philosophy, to understand Krishna with our material speculation, to understand Krishna with our own name fame, it's not possible. Krishna is just bhakta paradino. He just by devotion, Krishna can be understood, can be conquered as well. And then by that he glorified a lot, and he said, "Oh Lord, you are." And then Lord Krishna was pleased with the service made and service arrangement made by Akrūra, and Krishna was very much pleased, and he said, humbly Krishna says, replied, reciprocated, but nicely, he says, "You are our spiritual master, you are our paternal uncle, and also you are praiseworthy friend, and we are like your son and always dependent on your protection, sustenance, and compassion." See, Krishna says, I control the all universe and nothing is beyond me in Bhagavad Gita. But now Krishna is saying, we are dependent on you. Just imagine the mercifulness of Krishna, that he is actually surrendered to his devotee as well. right? And then very nice verse he says, no one can deny that there are holy places with sacred rivers. So the sacred rivers, they actually purify us. This verse says, and not that the demigod, they appear in deity form made of earth and stone, but this purify the soul after a long time. So by worshipping the deities, we get purification, but it takes time. By taking bath in these holy rivers, then also we get purified, but that also it takes a bit time. However, he says, whereas the sanity person purify just by being seen. So even just by seeing the devotees, the person can get purified, right? So that is how, all the Shastra says, sadhu sangha sarva shastra kahi, law mata sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. So Krishna is glorifying him that, you are such a great devotee that just by seeing the devotees, the person can be purified instantly, right? And then after that, by glorifying his presence of Akrūra, Lord Krishna told him that, no, please, he also advised him and instructed him to go to Hastinapur. He said, please go to Hastinapur and see the Pandavas, how they are doing. And because, we have heard that they are not being well treated by Dhṛtarāṣṭra, and their father has passed away already. So please go and check the condition how it is, and go and see that how this my friend Arjuna and others are being treated, even Mother Kunti, and please come back and let us know, and we will try to make a proper arrangement to help our friends. So in this way, Krishna instructed Akrūra to go to Hastinapur, and by the instruction of Krishna, Akrūra went towards Hastinapur, and Lord Krishna and with Uddhava and Balram, they came back to their own house. And that's chapter 49, where Akrūra went to Hastinapur to take the order of Lord Krishna. And when Akrūra went to Hastinapur, who was very greatly greeted in the kingdom, and even he stayed for a couple of months there and to understand the situation very, very well. And he discussed a lot of time with Kunti Devi and Vidura, and so Vidura and Kunti Devi, they actually see, Vidura was very, 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 very favorable towards the Pandavas, because though Vidura was actually brother of Dhṛtarāṣṭra, but he knew very well the intention of Dhṛtarāṣṭra. Vidura was a great devotee of Lord as well. So even though he is living with him, he is actually there, but still he was always favoring to the pious people, or the pious Pandavas. And we have seen so many times in Mahabharata that Vidura also provides to give all the time instructions to this Pandavas, that what kind of plan are being made by Dhṛtarāṣṭra's son and all Dhṛtarāṣṭras, so that they can be saved very properly. So Vidura and Kunti, they actually describe all these evil intentions of the Dhṛtarāṣṭra's sons, and they also describe that how the Dhṛtarāṣṭra is actually being captivated by his son Duryodhana, and this son of Dhṛtarāṣṭra, they are envious of the Pandavas. Just a second. And because these Pandavas, they are actually have great qualities, and because of these qualities, this Duryodhana and his brothers, they were actually always envious. They could not tolerate their qualities, and they also describe how the Dhṛtarāṣṭra sons, they have tried to poison the Pandavas, and then they have planned how to kill these Pandavas as well. And in the discussion, once Kunti Maharani, Kunti Devi, she actually she asked few questions confidentially to Akrūra, and she said, do all my relatives back in there, they remember me? And with full of tears in her eye, she said, oh gentle one, do my parents, do my brothers, my sisters, my nephew, my family, women, the girls, and everyone, they remembers us? And also she said, does Krishna and Balram remember us? And by remembering all this, Kunti Maharani, she started crying. And however, and then a long time passed away, a couple of months, and then Akrūra, he thought to, as he got all this information of what he was being sent to by Krishna, so he wanted to take leave now. However, before taking leave, he approached to Dhṛtarāṣṭra, and he told him very in an indirect way. He provided him all the instructions that what evil things are going on in back. He said, your brother Pandu has already passed away, and you have now assumed this royal throne because of Pandu has passed, and you will achieve success and glory by doing religious activities. So he indirectly saying that you are doing religious activity, and because you are the king and you are supposed to do religious activity. See, take the example of Lord Rama. When he was in the position of a king, even just to to check this religious activity, he has to abandon Mother Sita to go to the forest. Just imagine the way Lord Rama has led the kingdom, and how he has taught that what the religious principles should be followed by the king itself. And so Akrūra indirectly guided that you should be doing religious activity, and by doing that you will achieve success and also glories. And he says, like protecting the earth, and delighting your subjects with your noble character, and treating all your relatives equally. Otherwise, if you don't do this, the people will condemn you in this world. So just check your activities, and remain equipoised. He said, he again said that remain equipoised means equipoised towards your son as well as towards Pandavas. So treat both them as your own son, and don't do any bias between these two, because they are their father is not there, and you are responsible to take care of them. And however, he again glorified a logical say that we cannot stay forever even within our own body. So this body, this body also leaves us one day. Some maybe for years, some can live for many years, but this body will leave us. And he says, as this body will leave us one day, and what to speak of our wife, children, and the rest. So by knowing this is the philosophy. This is knowing that this body will also take away, it will be taken away by the soul, and it will leave us. So a fool indulges in sin activities to maintain his life. So knowing well that this body will be taken away, only a fool uses, or his intelligence to maintain his life in a sinful activities. And then also he uses these sinful activities to maintain his life, his wealth, his children, and other relatives as well. So be careful about taking care of the whole kingdom, of the whole relatives and everyone. And then by actually guiding the Dhṛtarāṣṭra in an indirectly way, he says, please control your mind with intelligence and become equipoised and peaceful. So the mind should be controlled by intelligence, and by instructing this, Akrūra took permission from all his well-wisher relatives, and then he went back to the capital of Yadus, and there Akrūra reported this whole incidents to Lord Balrama and Krishna about how the Dhṛtarāṣṭra is being actually misbehaving towards these Pandavas. And then we enter chapter 50, where Krishna plans to make the city of Dvārakā. So nearly his pastimes in Vrindavan has finished earlier, and now he is actually completing his pastimes in Mathurā, and he's planning to go to Dvārakā. And there we'll see how Krishna actually marriages 10,108 wives, beautiful queens, and then all this. So in this chapter we'll continue, where so Sukadeva Goswami continues in this chapter, in 50th chapter. He says that queens of Kansa, who was Asti and Prapti, they were very distressed by once King Kansa has been killed. So they went to their father. Their father was Jarāsandha. So they went to their father, and they actually narrated the whole story of how Kansa being killed, and his kingdom is acquired by others. Krishna and Balram, they are taking care of this, and Ugrasena became the king. And this Jarāsandha, he was king of Magadha, and he became sorrow as well as he became angry, and he thought to take revenge against these Yadus. He thought, okay, I will kill all the Yadus from the Mathura. And then he took his army of 23 Akshashwani Sena. So here there are so many soldiers, army is in horses, in a foot, in elephant, and in chariot. In this way, he made a plan and to seize all around the Mathura. And however, Lord understood, and he understood that Jarasandha is coming with his all army. So he made a plan to kill all the Sena, all these armies, and leave this Jarasandha. Leave Jarasandha just by humiliating him, just give his life back to him. So Krishna made a plan, and then while Lord was thinking about this plan, he could see that two chariots, very effulgent chariots, they are as effulgent as sun. So they came descended from the sky, and Krishna and Balram, they all both Krishna and Balram, they took this chariot, and this chariot was completely full with all equipments for the war, for the fighting. And Lord invited Balram for this fight, and he said, you take charge of this, killing all this in this fight, and relieve the earth from all the demons. And they drove out of the city with very, very small handful amounts of soldiers to fight with Jarāsandha. Jarāsandha came with 23 Akshashwani Sena, so many soldiers. But Krishna and Balram, they went to fight with Jarāsandha, and Krishna's driver Dvārakā. And when Krishna went there, Krishna blew his conch shell again, and then Jarāsandha, he kind of he said Krishna that I don't want to fight with you, boy, because you look so small and as if like very young, and I would like to fight with Balram. He actually looks to be very more stronger than you. That's what already Krishna has told to Balram, that you will be fighting this and killing all these demons. So, and Balram, his full strength, Bala means Bala, Krishna, his strength. And then these both, Krishna and Balram, they started fighting, and all these armies, they are collapsed. So all the armies, what has got with Jarāsandha, all are being collapsed. So everyone is dead. And then this battlefield is being described very, very kind of there are rivers flooded with like bloods. So the hundreds of rivers of blood flooded from the limbs of the humans, elephants, horses, who had been cut to pieces by Krishna and Balram. And then describes that in these rivers, the arms of the soldiers, they resembled like snakes, and the human head, it's like turtles, and the dead elephant, it looks like islands, and the dead horses looks like crocodiles, and the hands and thighs of human, they appear like fish, and human hair like water weeds, bows like waves, and various weapons like clumps of bushes. And in this way, this whole river is flooded with blood of these many animals and as well as soldiers. And however, as planned, Jarāsandha was left. So Krishna and Balram didn't kill Jarāsandha. This plan was only with Krishna. So Balram, he actually Lord Balram caught Jarāsandha, and he tied him, and he wanted to kill Jarāsandha as well. So, but as he was about to kill Jarāsandha, Krishna stopped Jarāsandha. As Krishna stopped Balram. He says, leave him, live his life and let him go. And then Jarāsandha, who was actually very much humiliated. He was, who actually was earlier he was very glorious because of fighting. He was always honored with winning the fights, but this time he was being humiliated and being ashamed. Krishna and Balram, they left Jarasandha's life. So devotee explained here that, and Balramji, see, he asked him, why do you want to leave this Jarasandha? So devotee explained that Krishna told Balaram that why do we take this kind of burden to find all these demons? Let Jarasandha live, and he will find all these demons and bring back again to fight with us. So we don't have to go here and there and find the demons. He will arrange everyone, he'll bring back, and will again kill everyone. So in this way, we will relieve this Mother Earth from the burden of all the demons who are taking side of this Jarasandha. And then after leaving Jarasandha, Lord, both Krishna and Balram, they entered their city, and with council and all the drums, horns, and this all being played, and everyone become it's like again a very like celebration for everyone in Mathura. And however, this Jarasandha, though he was defeated, very humiliated, but still he did not give up his attitude of revenge. And one after one, Jarasandha came for 17 times. So 17 times Jarasandha has brought so many armies, and he attacked Krishna and Balram, but the result was always the same. Krishna and Balram, they left Jarasandha. And then in the meantime, so after 17th time defeated by Krishna and Balram, in the meanwhile, Kalyavan, so again another demon who was very glorious in his fighting, and Kalyavan, he planned to attack Mathura from one side, and that's been described that Kalyavan was actually being sent by Narada. So the story was like Kalyavan actually discussed with Narada, and who is one who can fight with me, and then Narada Muni told that, okay, go and fight there. To Krishna, there are two people there, and you can have a fight with them. And when this Kalyavan seized from one side, he got 30 million soldiers, and Kalyavan has a record that he had never lost any battle. So he had got a wound, I think, from Lord Shiva, so that he was always glorious in his war. And Krishna understood everything, and he said to Lord Balram that there is a great danger is now threatening to all the Yadus from two sides. So from one side it's Kalyavan, and the Jarasandha, he can come anytime, maybe today or maybe tomorrow, but definitely he's going to come. He has came for 17 times, he's going to come again as well. So Krishna made another plan. He said, if Jarasandha, who is again, he's powerful, he comes, and while we two, Krishna and Balram, are busy in fighting with Kalyavan, then Jarasandha will actually kill our relatives and soldiers, and he might take away our capital. So Lord Krishna is telling to Balaram that let me construct a fortress where human force cannot penetrate. So he built a wonderful city that's called as Dvārakā, and that's the city is being constructed by Vishwakarma himself, and that was very, very beautiful city, and it was filled with all all the citizens of four orders, and the city was especially beautiful by the places of Śrī Kṛṣṇa and the Lord of Yadus, and many devatas, they actually gifted so many things in the city, like Indra gave Parijata tree, and then Kubera gave so many mystic treasures and others as well. So Krishna has ordered to Vishwakarma, and Vishwakarma made this nice city of Dvārakā. I think even also we have found that science has got so many traces of Dvārakā still underwater. So then Krishna, by his Yogamaya potency, and he transport all his all his people in Mathurā to the Dvārakā. And then Krishna went out of Mathurā to fight with Kalyavan. So it's been described, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it's described in Padma Purana how it has happened, the transports of all these people from Mathurā to Dvārakā. He says, in the middle of night, as the citizens of Mathurā slept, Lord Janardhan suddenly removed them from that city and placed them in Dvārakā. When the men awake, they were all amazed to find themselves, their children, and their wives sitting inside the palaces made of gold. So in this way, Krishna has transferred everyone from Mathurā to Dvārakā, and he is willing to start another pastimes in Dvārakā. So that's how we end chapter 50. I think I would like to stop here today, and from Monday we'll continue chapter 51, where we'll see how this Muchukanda, he was again a king, and he was delivered by Lord Kṛṣṇa, and how Kalyavan is being killed by Muchukanda, and then we'll see how Krishna one by one marriages, getting married with 8 queens, and then the others. Right? Any questions? Any thoughts? Any comments? We can discuss for a couple of minutes.
Yes, Prabhuji. How big is an Akshoni Sena?
An Akshoni Sena, I'll give the proper calculation maybe on Monday. So it's a there are so many armies. Many of them are on barefoot, and many of them are in horses, and many of them are in elephant, and many of them are in chariot. So it's actually a very, very huge amount of Akshoni Sena.
Okay.
So Prabhupada gives this information in Bhagavad Gita. I do not remember the actual calculation of each members in armies. So I'll confirm it on Monday definitely.
Okay. Today is Monday.
Oh, sorry. Monday. Okay, I'll tell you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I was thinking today is Friday.
I know.
Yes. I think the good weather is going for you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I was thinking today is only Friday.
Yes, no worries.
Sorry. We'll see tomorrow. I'll tell you tomorrow anyway.
Okay, well.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Raj
Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Ki Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.